I still want to go back to this thing about having to show off. I mean, why does that resonate with you in terms of he didn't have to do it, but what would showing off look like? I mean, not allowing other people to solo, berating. I mean, what does that mean? You're basically what I'm trying to understand here is that he had the chops and he had the internal tone and rhythm and time, but you're saying he went overboard. I mean, can you give an example?
Well, I can only express it. I can't sing it for you. Anyway, I don't know exactly how to do that. But whenever I felt like I was trying to be, smart or anything, I would kind of play too loud and play maybe unnecessary notes. And not, really try to stay with one idea and feel satisfied that it was developed before I finished, if that makes any sense to you.
So how does that, but I mean, can you make that analogous to Stan's playing?
Well, that's kind of what I'm comparing it to. Just trying to take his talent for granted and want to somehow exaggerate it somehow for whoever's listening, a beautiful lady or a clever booker or whatever would enter his reality at the playing time, But basically, very little of my lifetime was spent with his music, so I just appreciated the few times I heard it, and that's what I'm trying to express now.
Was there a difference between his playing on record and seeing him live?
I didn't see him live that much, so I can't compare that. But all I really know, basically, is his few records, and those are the ones I mentioned. A couple of solos with Woody Herman's band, and what other, I can't remember what other, did he play with Stan Kenton? I don't think so.
No, that was Woody, and then he played with Dizzy for a while.
Dizzy, yeah.
He played with Dizzy, and
yeah, well, that's a good record. He and Dizzy exchanging solos was very clever. I think he kind of upset Dizzy a little bit with his ability, and Dizzy kind of faltered, I thought.
You mean that for musicians only with Sonny and Diz and
I think that's the one, yeah.
So,
I didn't own that record, I just heard it. And,
right. Would you, I mean, like, did you consider him to be, did you lose some respect, or did you not feel as respectful to Stan because he was a pop star in American culture?
Oh, I was probably a little envious. I never got to be a pop star of any kind. I appreciated some people knowing me and inspiring me and everything, but I kind of settled for a more conservative position in things, and that's kept me alive. I'm still playing. And
can you tell me the one thing in your head that stands out about why Stan Getz's legacy will live on, and why he's still relevant to the language of music?
Well, he had that initial musical talent, and when he didn't abuse it, it was special, and we applaud him for it. He, exaggerated, I say, and sometimes went over the line, but he was like a full-time jazz musician who worked how many days a year as a jazz player. I never got to play like that, so I always kind of envied him being that much in control of the subject. And that's the credit I give him. As a person, I didn't really know him, but a couple of times I heard kind of weird stories about his behavior, things like that.
Can you share
But,
Can you share one of those stories?
Well, at the moment, I can't. No.
Because you made mention to this idea of exaggerating. He'd exaggerate, he'd overplay, he'd become, and that stuff's all well and good. But I mean, to say something like, well, for instance, you were told that he and Stunny Stitt were bad mouthing you, but you never knew firsthand if he never came to your face and said that.
Well, he was doing it on the bandstand behind me while I was playing, I was told. They were both making fun of me. Now, if that isn't reprehensible behavior, I don't know what. And, I wasn't, if anything, I was underplaying, not overplaying. So they weren't exaggerating me. They weren't criticizing me for overplaying, mostly for just not being hot enough. Something like that.
Right. I mean, to me, it's like I still just trying to figure out. Like, to me, it's like that was your style, and
Yeah.
But you're saying you envy might be the wrong word, but you respected the fact that he was able to be a full-fledged jazz musician throughout the year. All that he could do whatever he wanted to do.
Stan.
Yes.
Well, I presume so, yeah. And he seemed to do an awful lot of things, But I didn't know him personally enough to make any comments about that. But I envied him being a professional performing jazz musician in his lifetime. I don't think he worked soda fountains and, cleaned basements and things like that ever to earn a living. I didn't either, but for all the guys that had to really pay some dues to get a chance to play, I appreciate what they had to go through.
No, I really, really love what you're talking about. I mean, would you say that you just didn't have the propensity of the amount of opportunities to play, or you had other jobs in order to support yourself and your family?
Well, I was always trying to be open to play a gig when one happened, and they happened enough. So, a couple of times I accepted a day job and things like that, but that didn't last very long. Just paying the rent for a while and things like that. I had 5 kids.
Wow, mazel tov to you. Yeah, no, I only have 2. That's you.
Yeah.
You still have contact. You have good relationship with all of them.
Yeah, the oldest girl is about 67 now.
Wow, that's awesome.
I'm very pleased that they're all alive and doing the things they do, and they seem to be enjoying our infrequent relationship. But my son, who's 40-something, 45, I think, lives in Long Island, so I get to see him. We have Sunday breakfasts and walks in the park and things like that when I'm around and he's in the mood and things like that.
So he comes into the city. I'm from Long Island originally, from Stony Brook. So he's out in Nassau County, or?
No, what's the name of the place? Coltrane lived there.
Train? I didn't even know Train lived in Long Island.
Yeah, he did in this community, which has sorry, but bad.
It's okay.
Incidentally, I can justify this bad memory in saying that because it's difficult for me to remember licks and things, I tend to improvise more.
Well, that's cool. I really appreciate. No, and I guess my question to you is, why was Stan so good at being able to create this livelihood of sustainable jazz bandstand music?
Well, I hadn't seen him perform to know if he was dancing and smiling up the girl or whatever. But he was always playing some kind of music, and I think people saw that he was involved in it and appreciated that year after year.
He was playing some kind of music. That makes me think that it wasn't necessarily jazz, what you're saying.
Yeah, it was always jazz, but
Right.
sometimes it was really, let's say, improvised, and sometimes it was pretty much, known beforehand, knowing what turns you would take and things like that.
So it was predictable.
Predictable is the word.
Yeah, predictable. So and that word doesn't really show up in Lee Konitz's dictionary, right? I mean, predictability is not something you aspire to.